Shalom, Yasha Allah. First and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. The honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, especially the great gospel with sincerity and truth. This is your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone to the Annapolis camp. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, be edified. We got an article here from The Guardian, and it reads, NATO to put 300,000 troops on high alert in response to Russia threat. And this says Alliance's leader says this week's summit will agree its most significant transformation in generations. This article came out Monday, the 27th of June, the year 2022, the year Yahweh Shai turned it up. So it says NATO's Secretary General has said this week's Madrid summit will agree the alliance's most significant transformation for a generation, putting 300,000 troops at high readiness in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Jens Stoltenberg said the military alliance's forces in the Baltic states and 5 other frontline countries will be increased up to brigade levels, doubled or tripled to between 3,000 and 5,000 troops. Now, mind you, this article came out, like last week, so pretty much, they already done, sent a little, put those 300,000 troops. They're also putting more troops, putting more permanent brigades, stationing them in Poland, along the borders of Ukraine. Also, they said not only is NATO putting up 300,000 troops on high alert, also 100,000 U.S. troops in itself has been put on high alert as well. So these are the things that have already been passed. Also, I think Russia had made more threats in regards to their nukes. They pretty much activating their some nuclear sites or whatever, missiles or whatever. So it's a lot of things going on. That's going on if you've been following this this so-called war, whatever it may be. But that's just some things that you could probably venture into on your own. I don't have the articles right now, but definitely have seen them. So it says that will amount to the biggest overhaul of our collective defense and deterrence since the Cold War. Stoltenberg said before the meeting of the 30-country alliance, which runs from Tuesday to Thursday this week. The rapid reaction NATO response force currently numbers up to 40,000. Remember, the beast is who? NATO and the EU, which is headed by the whore, which is Babylon the Great, aka America. It said the rapid action NATO response force currently numbers up to 40,000. And the proposed change amounts to a broad revision in response to Russia militarization. Under the plans, NATO will also move stocks of munitions and other supplies further east, a transition due to be completed in 2023. The Norwegian Secretary General conceded he could not make any promises about the progress of applications by Sweden and Finland to join NATO because objections raised by Turkey to their membership remain unresolved. But I guess in recent times, they have removed that objections, and I guess they're going to move forward to allow them to join. But even with that, it takes them, as they said, it takes up to 6 months to a year for them to ultimately be a part of NATO, to ultimately for Article 5 to take in effect. So hey, much to see ahead, as far as what's going on, with that situation. But it says Stoltenberg said Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan had agreed to meet the Swedish Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson and Finland's President Sauli Niinisto on Tuesday in Madrid to try to resolve the issue. But he played down hopes of a breakthrough at the meeting of the margins of the NATO event. It's too early to say what kind of progress you can make by the summit, he told a press conference. Turkey has said it will block the applications of Sweden and Finland unless it receives satisfactory assurances that the Nordic countries are willing to address what it regards as support for Kurdish groups it designates as terrorist organizations, right? So Turkey like, man, y'all ain't coming in here until y'all, take away, saying those, pretty much you declaring these groups that come from here or whatever, pretty much they people, you keep declaring them as terrorist organizations. Y'all got to drop that, and then we make a move somewhere. Right, it say later on Monday, Anderson said she still hoped a last-minute deal could be reached after a day of contracts between officials of the 3 countries in Brussels. My strong hope is that this dialogue can be successfully concluded in the near future, ideally before the summit, Anderson said, emphasizing that Sweden condemns terrorism in all its forms and that the insurgent Kurdish Workers' Party was recognized as a terror group in Sweden. Right? It says Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky will address the summit on Wednesday morning, where he is expected to follow on from a plea made on Monday at the G7 meetings in Germany for Western countries to provide arms so the war does not drag on over winter. Stoltenberg said NATO will agree a strengthened comprehensive assistance package for Kiev, including immediate help to secure communications, anti-drone systems, and fuel, and longer-term assistance in transitioning from Soviet standard arms and equipment to their Western equivalents. But like I said, remember though, this came out on the 27th, so things definitely have changed as far as like the stance of Sweden and Turkey and all those. Just adding that in there. But it says, but while the state of the war is likely to dominate the summit, NATO itself will only offer non-lethal aid because its members do not want the alliance to enter into a fully fledged war with Russia. Arms supplies are instead made by member states. NATO maintains 8 battle groups across Eastern Europe, aimed at acting as an initial frontline defense in the event of a Russian invasion. 4 are the Baltic states and Poland, and these were supplemented by the creation of 4 more: Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, Slovakia after the attack on Ukraine. Germany said this month it will contribute a brigade of troops to defend Lithuania, where the country leads a 1,000-member battle group, although it emerged that the bulk of the extra 3,500 Berlin intends to contribute would be based on its own soil, ready to move further east if needed. Stoltenberg said he expected other NATO members to make similar announcements to defend the country for which they are responsible. Extra troop numbers will be made up by pre-assigned forces in their home country who will regularly exercise in the country to which they have been linked, he added. Britain contributes about 1,700 troops to a multinational battle group led in Estonia. And these are Estonia, like Lithuania, Latvia. These countries used to be part of the Soviet Union and actually borders Russia. So take that in mind, that these are actual countries now who are allied with NATO, who are against Russia and can have missiles and any type of military artillery pointed towards them. Right? That's why Russia's calling for them to leave Ukraine alone. Mainly with Ukraine, but even with Finland and and Sweden, like damn, they actually had like pacts and now fight against each other. It goes deeper than what they showing. Like I said, the American people just see that Russia's being this big bad bully, but really they've been trying to be more diplomatic than any of these other nations, right? But you can understand why Russia be like, damn, we don't want all these arms on our borders built up turning towards us. The Defense Secretary Ben Wallace said nearly a fortnight ago that it was highly likely the UK will assign hundreds of more troops in support of Estonia. But Stoltenberg said there would not be a one-size-fits-all model, suggesting that not every battle group will be increased to the size of a full brigade. Canada leads the battle group in Latvia, where it contributes 700 troops, while the US is responsible for Poland. See, they say NATO released figures showing that defense spending among its 30 members was expected to increase by 1.2% in real terms in 2022, the slowest growth rate in 8 successive years of growth. 9 of the countries are projected to exceed the 2.2% of GDP target, led by Greece on 3.76% and the US on 3.47%, with Britain 6 on 2.12%, down marginally on 2 previous years. France spends 1.9% and Germany spends 1.44%. Hey, call all you have about your shot, 144. And I think that's all, because they always want to act, we need some money, and they see, but that's the point of this, it's a lot of military tension being built up, a lot of rumors of wars, wars going on. And that was all, that's on that article. So just, hitting the point. Like I said, not making nothing too long, just going on to say, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, right? So we are supposed to hear about these wars and rumors of wars. And a rumor, like I said, even if it's a rumor war, meaning it was something talked about but it never happened, that's still a part of prophecy. There's actual wars going on. Various nations are at war right now. Then you got this so-called war with Russia and Ukraine, and tensions between China and Taiwan, Australia, so forth and so on, right? You have these rumors of wars, military buildups, more alliances being made. You don't make alliances unless you expect something to happen. So it's apparent that these rumors of war, let's see what they say about what are rumors. I don't think it's a real good definition though. The hearing, the act of hearing, earfang, the sense of hearing, the origin, the extraction. Yeah, it's not really hearsay, reporter, or a rumor. Yeah, so it's not. It don't give you a really good, definition on it. But at the end of the day, y'all know what a rumor is. I heard this and I heard that and I heard this, but it can't. It's not gonna be. It's only word of mouth for hearsay unless something happens to where it's being proven that it's being done or evidence come out that it's not happening at all. You know what I'm saying? So a rumor is just pretty much a thought, an idea, a theory, whatever the case may be, until it's actual fact to actually be a thing. So or it could be just something said that's not true. So going on say, see that you be not troubled. So when you see these things come to pass, when you hear these things come to pass, you are not to be troubled. You're not to be fearful. You're not to be worried. Why? For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So all these things are to come to pass. Whether, and we gonna get some of those things. So wars and rumors of war are supposed to come to pass. Verse 7 says what? For nation shall rise against nation, right? Kingdom against kingdom. So nations are supposed to be rising against each other. They're supposed to be oppositions against each other. And they know, let's everybody get along, hold hands and kumbaya. No, nations are supposed to be against each other because why? That's going to lead up to what? World War III, which in the midst of World War III, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, they're going to pull up with the holy angels. And in the midst of that, Jacob's trouble into World War III, the deliverance of the elect going to come and the destruction will come to the world to all those who are allotted for it. Especially Babylon the Great going to be utterly destroyed. The land of Israel going to be utterly destroyed but rebuilt back up because that's going to be our headquarters. But we understand that all these things must come to pass. World War III must happen before we be delivered, right? And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. When you see all these things come to pass, when you see these things happen, these are all things that are part of prophecy. That's why the prophets and the men of the Lord have been saying these things, through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shema Shai, saying these things, this going to happen, this going to happen, this going to happen before it does. That's what prophecy means, to say before, right? And guess what? It says, well, all these are the beginning of sorrows because why? Things are going to get worse and worse and worse. To the deliverance of the elect coming, the destruction to, whoever destruction is allotted for. 2/3, the heathens, who's ever, allotted for that to happen, right? As the scriptures say, go ahead and get it. Let's get the points. Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? Prepare war, right? So we telling these heathen nations, y'all gonna go to war. So it's inevitable. We can do this, we can stop this, the tyrants this, come together this. No, y'all are going to go to war. Y'all have to. It's a part of prophecy. Say what? Prepare war. Wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, right? Because we said right now we coming into a time of war. That's why they having these military games. That's why they having these realm packs, some these sessions and all this and that. They not doing these practices or these military movements or they're not doing or purchasing military artillery, whatever the case may be. They're not doing this for no reason. They're doing it because why? It's all leading in the parts of facets of what? War. So prepare yourself. Get ready. Buy this. Buy that. Get ready for it. Because it's inevitable. It's going to happen, right? It say, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. It ain't time to be out there, tilling the land, worried about cultivating, food and agriculture and this and that. It ain't the time for that. That's plowshares and the pruning hooks. It say, well, beat them into swords and spears. Hey, it's time to put the time of cultivation and agriculture and growing and being a farmer. No, that time's over with. It's time to what? Turn them into swords and spears and get ready for war. That's what it said. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. It's time for y'all to go to war. It say, well, let the weak say I am strong, and the weak say they am strong by what? Hey, we got them missiles too. Babylon, we got nukes too. We got this too. We got strong allies too. So we ain't going like that no more. You say you're gonna do this, something like that, well, we got something like that too, and we got allies who want to send something to your ass too. So the weak, man, it's a pyramid, we ain't weak no more. We got that work for you, right? They say, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. Because why? That means what? Because he's going to assemble all those heathens up. Where it's going to go into the next verse, where they're going to be assembled up, but also say, well, let thy mighty ones come down. Even the angels going to be involved because, like I said, they coming with Yahushua HaMashiach. And they ain't coming here to just scout out the land. Like they been doing reconnaissance missions, seeing what's going on and report back up. But when that great day of judgment come, when that great battle come, guess what? They're gonna pull up for war. They coming to fight, right? As a matter of fact, really quick, Revelation 12, verse 7. And there was a war and there was war in heaven, not in the heavenly, where the Most High, not in the heavenly throne. No, war in the air, in the sky that you see in heaven, under the firmament. There was war in heaven, because it's 3 levels of heaven. It say Michael and his angels, right, fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, right? So Michael and his angels gonna be coming what? They're gonna be the holy angels fighting with Yahushua, right? And then fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. We understand that the dragon is going back to who? Really, it's going back to the ancient pagan Roman Empire, but now it's being revised, Rome 2.0. So that's talking about who? Ultimately, Esau, Edom. They the dragon, right? And the dragon fought and his angels, all the ones who gonna be fighting with them. Let's go side with them, right? And they say what? And prevailed not, neither was their place found in heaven anymore. Meaning what? It's already written that they gonna lose. They're done. They're finished. Good fight, nice try, but they never had a chance, But here's the point. They say, let the heathen, verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, down there where? In the Middle East. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Now, one thing, too, that's been coming out, even last year, but even brought up this year, too, when you get to, right here, Revelation chapter 16, verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river of Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up. Go see what's happening over there in the river of Euphrates right now. Prophecy is coming to pass. The river is drying up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared, right? So ultimately going into the kings of the east, really headed by who? Russia and all the ones he's gonna be a guard unto. And then also the kings of the west gonna come down there, which would be who? NATO and the EU, Babylon the Great. So they all gonna be brought down into where? The valley of Jehoshaphat, which is where the river Euphrates, in that area, the Middle East, if you will. So we understand that that's all building up to prophecy for what? World War III. Right? Because the scriptures say, Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, the second woe is past, right? The second world war is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So the third world war is coming, and it's inevitable, and it's also written as part of a prophecy to come to pass. That means it's going to happen whether you like it or not. So, like I said, we see all these military buildups, we've seen all these tensions, we've seen all these alliances made, and all this and that. All this is ultimately leading up to what? World War III that's going to be fought. And then more prophecies around the corner too, the MOTB and so forth and so on. All these things are going to come to pass, right? But we understand that with these military tensions and these things that's going up, we understand that this all is a buildup. It's a buildup for what? World War III to happen, So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to sincere Akinwa Akwafim out there listening. I want to get all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that switches the great gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yesha Allah, Abai, Babal.